Hey, welcome everybody to the latest AR.io network stream. Today we're lucky enough to have Nijat, the founder from DeRad Network. How are you doing, Nijat?
Yeah, I am good. How are you doing?
Very good, mate. Very good. Kind of getting to that stage of the year where the general chaos of working in the ecosystem and shipping things is kind of slowing down, and everyone's got some time to think. I don't know about you guys. Is it still super busy? You're still moving really quick, or are you getting a chance to slow down? Or
We are still really busy because there are a lot of work to do. You know, it is holiday time, and sometimes you want to just slow down and enjoy. But we have a lot of work to do, and we are moving really fast. Yesterday we shipped our new product, and last week also we shipped our multiple features and products. We are currently working on our Android app. There are also a lot of work, you know, in this industry, Web3 industry and deep in industry. Work is never ending, and there are a lot of work to do. Always there are something to do and some improvement, something, especially in these days, because developing software is getting more easy, and you find some ideas, and some coding agents can actually help to do that idea. You say, hey, let's do this idea in next 1 hour or 2 hours. That's why always there are something to do. That's why we are really busy.
yeah.
Yeah.
The challenge that I'm having at the moment with AI is it's getting so good that you can almost build anything, right? So it's like you have an idea and you can go to something that works really fast. But it is interesting to see kind of what impact that's having on the velocity of teams and like how much you can do with a smaller group of people. So really excited to dig into everything that you've been working on recently. So for folks that haven't seen these streams before, we like to invite teams and builders from the ecosystem to showcase what they've been working on. So if you're not aware, AR.io network is the decentralized storage, index, and access layer for data on top of Arweave. We call it the first permanent cloud network. We're live in mainnet. There are about 650 or so independent gateways that are kind of performing that role. And Nijat is a deepened team for DeRadar network that are building in our ecosystem. I'll let him explain a little bit more about that today. But they were also the recipient of a grant, and we had a recent milestone be delivered by the team with loads of exciting stuff in it. So we thought it was a really good opportunity to get Nijat back on the stream and kind of show us what he's been working on. So Nijat, maybe why don't we start with a kind of a brief introduction to yourself and at a high level kind of what DeRadar network is, and then maybe we can talk about where we were, what we've been working on, and kind of show the folks what's been delivered recently.
Sure. I am Nijat from DeRadar Network. I am co-founder and CEO of DeRadar Network. I have very deep background in coding and development. Later, I joined multiple companies and worked for multiple companies. One of them was a gaming company in China. I joined that company approximately 8 years ago. And in that company, my goal was building a community for that game. And in 6 weeks, I built a community more than 50,000 members and doubled their player base. Later, I started trading crypto as always in 2020 in that lockdown. There was not many things to do. I started exploring crypto and learning crypto. My favorite project was that time Helium. I liked Helium model so much.
This is what gave you the bug for Deepin.
Yeah. It was the idea. But in that days, running an Helium antenna in my country was not possible because of some fairgrounds regulations. But I purchased an antenna and shipped it to my friend in different countries. So I ran an antenna that way. Later, I explored multiple Deepin projects, and I come across Arweave in 2021 and Arweave in 2022. I remember I purchased my first RNS name in 2023 when it was live first time. So I like this Arweave model and storage model so much because I tried to store something. First, I think, hey, I will store this thing and it will disappear. But I stored some files. I checked.
When you first used Arweave, you were like, I don't know if this is true. So you stored something, and then you were kind of surprised that it was still available later on.
Yeah, and
nice.
You know, I checked the model. It says pay once and store forever. I think it can be real because other alt providers taking monthly fees, but this guy is storing forever. I checked a week later, a month later, 3 months later, and I see that data is still there. it was very exciting for me.
Nice.
That experience. Later, I started to store my cat's photos because I was to make cat photos permanent, and cat photos still available on Arweave publicly.
Nice.
Yeah, and in last year, 2024, I decided to start my own company, and I started this company because I saw an issue in aviation tracking, ADS-B tracking. That issue was people running antennas for different companies, for different aggregators, but these companies is collecting data but giving nothing in return, and their business model is broken. Also, their coverage expansion model is broken because they are heavily dependent on volunteers, and these volunteer people can't provide quality service or high uptime or very, very high quality coverage. That's why I started my company last year. And from that time, we developed multiple products. In this year, we launched our flight tracking map, data upload nodes. Also, we started uploading data to Arweave. Currently, we have huge coverage in Europe, in Dubai. We have 3 antennas in Abu Dhabi. Also, we cover most of California, and we are expanding our coverage to other areas. Our main focus is currently Asia, because there are some conflicts in some countries, and there are heavy flight traffic, and we believe if we expand our coverage in Asia, it can help us to make flights safe in that region and provide some kind of instincts about what's happening and what's currently going on. Our expansion strategy is really good right now. We are expanding our coverage really fast. So we completed milestone approximately 2 weeks ago. In that milestone, we shipped very huge updates. Our most important update was high frequency uploads. Currently, we are uploading approximately 200 to 300 packets each minute. Sometimes this number go down, sometimes go up. What's this approximate number? We already uploaded more than 8 million packets to Arweave. Let me share my screen. And
nice. So just to kind of set the scene for everybody, DeRadar Network's purpose as a deep-in network is people operate ground stations for tracking aircraft flights around the world, and you guys are providing, I guess, like a system for making use of that data, and also like an economic model for rewarding the people who are doing that work. Because in the world, in the way that currently works in the world, mostly that's run by volunteers, and I'm guessing that maybe also there's like a coverage issue in some places where it's like makes less sense for folks to run those ground stations, or maybe there's just not volunteers.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And what you want to share your screen? What are we going to be looking at first?
In my screen, we will look first our node dashboard. In this node dashboard, is my screen visible now?
Not yet. It's coming up. Here,
right.
There we go.
This is our node dashboard. In this dashboard, you can see statistics from one single node, and this node uploaded more than 8 million packets in last 2 months. Also, we uploaded 4 million encrypted packets to Arweave. Our current TPM is around this, and this is our standard data pipeline, and this is encrypted pipeline, and we are uploading this data to Arweave each minute, each second. Currently, our system is tracking more than 2,000 aircraft, and overall, we tracked a lot of aircraft. This is the number of unique aircrafts we tracked. This is total data upload attempts. One single attempt, we are uploading 1 encrypted packet and 1 unencrypted packet. Simply, what is encrypted packet? Encrypted packet is containing more information about the flight. So it is for our enterprise tier. In basic packet, we include location, speed, altitude. But if a person wants to get more data about an aircraft, they can purchase encrypted data access, and they can purchase more data from our foundation. And all revenue goes to our miners or data providers.
Nice.
For encryption, we are using Nilium, which is very awesome project and very awesome team. We are
Ilan will be
using
pleased to hear that.
yeah. We are using their NilDB product to store all encryption keys. Also, all encryption is decentralized and access is decentralized.
Cool. So there's a lot going on there. If we go back to the dashboard real quick, I remember last time we were speaking, sort of before milestone 2, the kind of state of the world is you were uploading like low fidelity data from the ground stations to Arweave, right? You had the live feed that came into the dashboard, and then your archival node was kind of archiving the like basic level data that you to Arweave, right, in batches. And then the problem that you were trying to solve is, how can I do this at a bigger scale, and how can I do this in a way where I can store more valuable data but be able to encrypt it and use that data set to then sort of provide access to like enterprise customers who might pay for the data that's stored in a decentralized way, right? Is that right?
Yeah, in milestone 1, we stored data in JSON format. That format was not that efficient because most analytic tools did not support JSON, but most of the tools store Parquet. I remember you offered this data format, and I learned this data format from you. I never heard this data format before, and I checked, and it was awesome. Since this data format is storing data in binary, or storage rate is dropped, so we store data more efficiently and more faster, because
And that helped with the scale part, right? As you could, I think you said you could reduce it was like 60% reduction, and that helped with the scale, kind of moving from JSON to Parquet. And then the other problem that we were talking about and trying to solve with you was, how can I upload data, like more valuable data, in a way where I can ensure that it's encrypted and then provide access to that to enterprise customers in a flexible way. And this is where we did like a kind of a freeway partnership with Nilion, and that's what you were describing in terms of the encrypted and decrypted packages, right?
Yeah, exactly. Derad Network is the first and only company who is building the whole business model is selling data from Arweave. So we store the data on Arweave, and we are trying to sell, monetize that data. This is our business model. Other companies storing some of their data on Arweave, or their business model is not selling data from Arweave, but our main business model is this. Also, we are selling live data, access to live data, but in historical data. I believe most valuable part is the historical data, because a lot of companies can provide live data and they can start building their own coverage, but they can't get that historical data before they started. So historical data part is most valuable and most important part. And
Really interesting. And I was going to ask, like, I love that you have kind of committed to this decentralization, and I might be putting words in your mouth, but the fact that you have built the entire stack on Arweave from like a data layer perspective, and I'm curious why you made that decision. Like, is it because it's like over the long term economically it makes sense? Is it because you really care about decentralization? Is it like a mixture of both? Like, I'm super interested of kind of why you went in that direction versus, say, using a centralized storage provider.
Man, there are a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. The most important reason is I don't like data hostage. Centralized providers keeping all data in hostage. For example, in S3 example, you are uploading your data each day. For example, we are uploading 2 GB of data to Arweave each day. Let's say we upload that data to S3, and that data bucket is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. A few years later, we will have maybe 60 terabyte of data in S3. So let's say we want to get our data back, and we want to move to Arweave, or we want to move to another provider. Getting that data back can cost huge amount of money because of Dolan fees. If you think that it is really ridiculous in centralized providers, you are uploading your data and you are storing some amount of money each month to keep that data in that provider. And to get your data back, you need to pay again each time. And In the
It's like
future,
it's a bit of a con almost, isn't it? It's like once you're there, it's like you're stuck, right? You don't have a choice.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
data
that's why I
portability
say
is
it
really
is
difficult.
data hostes. It's data hostes. They are keeping your data in hostes, and uh, if you want to get all of your data back, you need to pay huge sum. If you want to process your data, you need to pay for each gigabyte. It is uh, really
And this
a
is kind of
business.
the classic thing of like when you try and calculate pricing for AWS, right? Like it looks
Yeah,
really cheap, but if you start trying to pull data out and you're doing like egress, like download, or as you said, like you're doing batch jobs or processing the data, like the bill adds up quite quickly, and then it becomes not only is your data hostage, but like it's really expensive to do what you need to do.
yeah. This was the first problem, data hostess problem. Second, it is centralized. So let's say we set up an AWS account, we set up an S3 bucket, and Derad network, the company, is controlling that bucket. So let's say one day, Derad network goes out of the business, and that data will not be accessible anymore because we are the only company who is controlling that data. We are only person who is controlling that data. And if we stop paying, let's say we go bankrupt, that data will disappear. But in Arweave model, we are storing that data. Even if this company disappears, that data will be available and that data will be accessible forever. This is the second part I like most about Arweave. Third problem was really important and really difficult problem to solve in deep networks. It is the decentralization and decentralized data upload. How we can create a system people can upload data without authentication. Currently, anybody can install or DeRadar turbo upload node and start uploading data to Arweave. But if we use a centralized provider without authentication, without some kind of middleware, people will not be able to upload data. If we give open access to anybody, people can upload anything and they can use our storage for different purposes. If we create some kind of authentication layer, some middleware between S3 and nodes, it creates decentralization. So I believe if you are deep in network and if you are collecting some kind of data without decentralized storage, it is not possible to create some kind of decentralized network of devices. Because at the end of the day, they need to send that data to somewhere. And without decentralized storage, it will be S3, it will be a centralized VPS, and it creates a centralized point. And this is the problem, I believe. Arweave solved this as well. And Arweave has huge potential. Arweave and Arweave has huge potential for deep in networks. I believe this. Without decentralized storage, you can't create decentralized deep in networks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It's like there's in most of the deep in networks that I've looked at, it is that layer that is centralized. It is the data storage and access layer, right? And even if underlying they are using a decentralized storage solution, there's always that middleware in the middle that you've been describing of like you need this centralized data processing pipeline to kind of get the data in the format and the destination that it needs to be. It's awesome to see that sort of Arweave and RAO has kind of enabled that for you, and I'm sure the more folks understand about that, hopefully the more folks kind of see that those trade-offs that are being made. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about it today. So what did we want to go in next? So we've spoken about the scalability solutions. We've also spoken about being able to store high fidelity or high value data and encrypting it with Nilion and selling access to it as via an enterprise API, which I think is really exciting. I know that we've worked on quite a lot else since Milestone 2 as well. So I think you had a few other things that you wanted to highlight today.
Yeah, fourth thing I want to highlight is retrieval speed. For example, in S3, retrieval speed is approximately 300 to 200 megabyte per second. If you want to retrieve, for example, a terabyte of data, terabyte of aviation data, and process that data in really short period of time. For example, a customer sends an API request, and you need to retrieve some data and process that data to send back the response. Getting data from S3 is really slow because of their Dolan speeds. They are limiting that Dolan speeds. Even you are paying for that Dolan, that bandwidth. But in Areo, average gateway is providing approximately 200 to 300 megabytes per second, and there are more than 600 gateways. If you combine this speed, and if you do some kind of load balancing, or you use Wayfinder or something like that, if you create your own load balancing, something like this concept, it can give you a few terabytes per second Dolan. This is really crazy if you think about this. None of other providers can provide this kind of speed for everybody. Maybe you are a big company, maybe you are a big organization, they can provide you a channel with a few terabytes per second. It's not possible, but maybe they can do this with custom fibers, custom connections, etc. But for normal customers, for ordinary customers, they are providing 300 to 200 megabytes per second. But Areo can provide a few terabytes per second to everybody because of their gateway network. Also, you can run your own gateway, own optimized gateway. Currently, we are running our own gateway, Derad.network, and we optimize that gateway to index all of our files, all of our packets. Also, we enabled public bandwidth channel in 300 megabytes per second. But for our internal use, we whitelisted our IPs, and we are providing our own tools 1 gigabyte per second. So also we can use other gateways as well. So there are a lot of possibilities with Areo gateways and Areo infrastructure. I remember first time I used Arweave approximately 4 years ago. I tried the official gateway, OG gateway, Arweave.net, and Dolan speeds was around 20 to 30 megabytes per second. I believe it's still like that. But after Areo network, Areo layer, Dolan speeds are skyrocketed, and it's really stable, and it's really faster right now. And especially Wayfinder extension and Wayfinder SDK enables this load balancing and this high-speed retrievals from Areo network. So I believe in Dolan speeds and in data retrieval, Areo network beats S3 and other centralized providers, even other decentralized providers, because in other decentralized providers, Dolan speed is still a problem. But in Arweave and in Areo, this problem solved. This was a huge benefit for our application, because sometimes we are retrieving a few gigabyte data in one single request, and retrieving this data is really difficult with low Dolan speeds.
And is this, are you use, I love this, this is great. Like it's a lot, again, it's another thing that folks don't often think about around the trade-offs and benefits of using something like S3 versus like a network of gateways. Is this, I think it'd be good, I was going to explain a little bit about how you're doing that at the moment, but is that something that you're doing in production in the DeRadar system at the moment, kind of like load balancing requests across the network?
Currently, we are developing this load balancing for our tools. For example, in our map, we use this load balancing.
Nijat, do you want me to, if you're sharing your screen, you're not up at the moment, just FYI.
Is map page visible?
No, I think you might need to like cancel the share and do it again so I can bring you up. I think we lost it when we were sharing before. So if you, it hasn't been up for a little while. Or alternatively, if you let me know which, here we go.
All right.
Cool.
This is our Explorer page, similar to Flight Radar 24, but with decentralized data and data coming from Arweave. In previous version of this page, we use JSON to create historical playbacks. And in historical playbacks, we retrieve data from Arweave via Areo gateways. And we used our own load balancing strategy to distribute load across multiple gateways. Of course, we can use Wayfinder extension as well, but we are developing our own strategy to distribute load across gateways. In production, in our API, also we are currently developing our in-house load balancing, again to distribute requests to multiple gateways. If our gateway is not able to give the speed we need, in that scenario, we can use other gateways as well. Also,
Very cool. So is that
redundancy.
you get? I think you were just about to answer it, but if you have your own gateway that's optimized for your data, but like if you need, it sounds like if you need to request like a large amount of data really, really quickly, you can sort of parallelize requests across multiple gateways, including your own. And then you were just about to say redundancy as well. So I guess the network also gives you that like failover for data access to make sure that even if there's a problem with your gateway or another gateway, there's other places you can fetch the data from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Currently, our own gateway is providing 1 GB per second bandwidth to our own internal tools and 2 MB per second to everybody. It's a public bandwidth we are providing to network. If our gateway is not able to retrieve as fast as possible, we can use other gateways and we can benefit decentralized network of gateways. But most of the time, we are using our own optimized gateways in most of the tools we are developing. Other gateways are like failover, and in some scenario, maybe our gateway is not able to retrieve that data, or there are some problems, some DNS issues, something like that.
Cool.
So redundancy is provided by other gateways in the network.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think people who are watching this live or maybe backwards, they might, or back later, they might not fully grok what we're kind of how we're solving this problem. So what Nijat is talking about is AR.io network has about 650 independent gateways in the network. So DeRad's gateway is one. I've got a gateway. Arweave.net is one, and they're all independently indexing and serving data from Arweave. And then we also have a routing protocol where you can route requests around those gateways. So what this allows you to do is you get resilience because there's always a gateway that will serve your data. But what Nijat has been describing is distributing requests across many gateways at the same time to be able to pull down lots more data at the same time versus just relying on whatever the egress limit is on one gateway. So it's really interesting, man. I think you're the first team to kind of do that at any kind of scale. Super cool.
Yeah, we started this load balancing even before you launched Wayfinder, and this idea, this huge bandwidth idea, and utilizing this all bandwidth channels was very, very exciting.
Nice.
Even
You'll have to let Dylan, the author of Wayfinder, know kind of what you built. I'm sure he would be intrigued.
yeah. So yeah, this is the one of the most exciting points for us. Yeah, as you can see, this is our map application to track.
And what we're looking at the top is the live data from your antennas, right? This is the data that's coming streamed directly from the antennas, or?
Yeah, this is the live data aggregated from multiple antennas in real time. And this is the all aircrafts in our coverage. As I mentioned before, we have huge coverage in Europe, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, also in most of California. Yeah, we are planning to expand our coverage even more. Yeah, this was our first application. Also, this application is live on RNS. If you enter this gateway, DeRadar.r.io.
So the just for the audience, the app that we're looking at is itself deployed on Arweave name system. So the dashboard that Nijat has built at DeRadar, this itself is decentralized, and in terms of accessing it, and then you have the real-time data coming from the decentralized network of nodes, and then you also have the historical data coming from sort of Arweave gateways. So the full stack here that we're looking at is fully decentralized on top of AR.io.
Yeah, exactly. Any gateway you can enter, and for example, DeRadar.network, DeRadar.arweave.net, or any gateway domain will open this page. So it is decentralized and redundant access for our dashboard. I want to share our third product, which we launched yesterday. This is our random data generator. Actually, in encryption and in, for example, generating SSL certificates or encryption keys, random data or entropy is very important. Some companies using different strategies to generate random numbers. Most famously, Cloudflare is using lava lamps and a camera pointed to that lava lamps to capture random images, and based on that random images, they are generating random numbers to create SSL certificates for their customers. Also, we launched a product which is the first random data generator using aviation data coming from our antennas. Aviation data is truly random because all aircrafts going to random directions in random speeds and in random altitudes. Also, speed, altitude, and location data is changing each second in each new ADSP message. And using this changing random data, we are able to create truly random numbers, which is coming from the sky.
This is so cool, man. So you're using the randomness of the data that you're fetching from the devices in the network that are tracking planes to create a truly random number generator that other systems can use.
Yeah,
Very cool.
computers can't generate truly random numbers, and if you observe a computer, a VM, a machine, you can predict after some point based on the previous data, but aviation data is truly random, and we are planning to use this randomness in our encryption site to encrypt data packets.
Cool. Is that going to be in conjunction with how you're storing data on Nilion? Are you going to be using kind of the randomness there to help with the entropy in the key generation in Nilion?
We will use this randomness to generate keys, and we will store that keys in Nilion as before. Only changing part is how we create that keys. Currently, we are generating keys based on randomness in the node host machine. But after the update, we will use this randomness to generate keys, and it will make key generation more robust and more secure.
Very cool.
And better overall.
Yeah, very cool, man. And is this like another thing that you think might be a way to generate revenue for the protocol as well?
Currently, we launched this application for community, for public to use, and we believe this kind of tools can be helpful for many purposes. And in the future, maybe we can add some kind of rate limiting and some kind of premium access to this product as well. So a lot of companies launching a lot of tools, but some tools become very useful and some of them just disappear. And from that useful tools, they are able to generate some kind of revenue. And we think in the same way, we launch multiple products, multiple tools, and we hope one of them will stick. And from that tool, from that service, they can generate huge amount of revenue. Yeah.
Nice. That's very cool. So it's kind of like we built this because it has a use case for us, and we're sharing it with the world because we think it's valuable and it kind of gets people attracted to what we're doing, and that helps grow the network. I love it, man. It's great. Everything that we do, we have a similar kind of approach to open source as well. So yeah, I love it, man. This is really cool.
Yeah. Another thing is our application, mobile application.
Ooh, this is new, right?
Yeah, this is pretty new and it is in pre-registration. So we will launch this application in very short period of time. Currently testing with close circle with
Hmm.
some testers from our community. After testing all functions and making sure it's working stable and it's working properly, we will launch this application. This application is mobile optimized version of our map, which I showed before. Uh, it is optimized for mobile devices currently available on Android. After releasing on Android, we will uh, release this application on iOS uh, devices. Yeah, anybody
And what
interested can register.
what's the like value for the users? Why did you create the mobile app? What will they get from using it?
Because all competitors has strong mobile applications. For example, our biggest competitor and our real competitor, FlightRadar 24, has a
Hmm.
robust application, and most of their users using their application rather than their website. It makes the application more accessible because anytime anybody can click the application in their phone and they can use it rather than entering the website. In this application, still we are using Arweave gateways to retrieve data, and we are using Arweave tech stack to
Nice.
power this application. In all points, it's possible to do.
And
Yeah,
it's exposing the same data that's on the flight tracking portal, just in a like a much nicer to use or like smaller interface on the phone, basically.
this is a mobile optimized version. Our
Yeah,
website is
cool.
also mobile optimized, but this is the native application for mobile devices. It is
Nice.
running more faster. Also, it is torch optimized, so it's better to use in mobile.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So I can download the app and I can go and see all of the information about flights that are tracked in the network.
yeah, exactly. If you pre-register now, when we release this application, it will automatically download to your phone, and you can use this application to see the same data uh, in in our web application. In this
Very cool.
app, we have optimized graphs and optimized map, also different functions. Also, in this app, we launched a mini app store. Other people can use DeRad network data to create some kind of applications, and they can launch their applications on mini app store. So it is another thing we are just building. Maybe it will stick and it will generate some kind of revenue. We will
Hmm.
test that mini app store for 6 months. If it's not stick, we will disable that function. So our strategy, we find some product idea and we create that product, we release that product. Later, we find another product idea, we release that product as well. We are trying to release as many products as possible. Maybe some of them will stick. This is
Yeah.
our business model.
I
Simple.
love it. It's great. I love it. And I've seen a lot of like, I think I've seen like pictures on social media surfacing of like Derad flight data, and I'm wondering if those like I couldn't tell if they were screenshots or exports. If those images that I've been seeing on the feed of Derad flight data, if that's coming from like the tester users of the mobile app.
Currently, we have 100 users actively testing this application. And in
Nice.
this application, we have a function to share specific flights. Maybe
Hmm.
users finding some interesting flight and they want to share this flight in social media to show power of DeRadar and DeRad network. With a button, they can create a poster of that flight and they can share that flight in any social media they want. And all users actively sharing these flights, some of them finding really really interesting flights and really really interesting planes and sharing that on social
Yeah.
media. So we just put this function in application and most of people actually using that function. It is something stick, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a
It's good.
feature.
It's I think it's cool, and I think it's one of those like communities like where there's actually like a big active community of people out there that really really care about this stuff, right? Like even if it's not, even if like the average like random person, it might not be their thing. Like I feel like this is the kind of space where you get people that are like really interested in like what's happening and being able to track flights. And I know you get a lot of also like open source intelligence folks as well who care a lot about flight tracking. So it's super cool that to make these tools available for them. And I can see it kind of like taking off within that world of people being able to use these tools to access data from a decentralized network like this.
Yeah. In centralized providers, for example, FlightRadar 24, you can't see some specific planes because some people, some private jets, just sending requests to FlightRadar 24, and FlightRadar 24 is removing that plane from the map from everything they own. But we show that aircrafts, we show everything we collect. We don't remove anything. We can't remove anything because of our decentralized nature. If somebody sends a mail, hey, remove my plane, remove my aircraft, we can't do that. We can't do that. What we collect is able to hear, and they can't stop this system as well. So other providers removing because they are afraid being sued or maybe some kind of blockage, etc. But nobody can block this system because it's full decentralized. Nobody can control the data.
We love this in the Arweave ecosystem, man. I love what you've built. This is great. And then I think there was one more app that you shipped with the update as well, and it was about like an in-browser experience for being able to query historical flights, right?
Yes.
This was quite neat. Where are we?
This is Sky Query application.
Excellent name, Query the Sky.
Yes. It is a serverless application fully running on RNS names and accessible via more than 600 gateways. It is using a gateway GraphQL endpoint to retrieve transaction hashes. And using that transaction hashes, we are able to retrieve the actual packet files, and we are processing that packet files on browser using DuckDB and visualizing that data. Let's do one experiment.
So talk me through what's happening here. So
currently, we are retrieving transactions from Arweave, and based on that transactions, we are able to query the data we uploaded to Arweave and visualize that data. This is individual packets we uploaded. So each packet is containing speed, altitude, registration, and coordinates. And using this data, we can visualize.
Very cool. And the settings that you were setting at the top, you've got, these are like identifiers for planes, and then you have depth as well.
There are two kind of identifiers for a flight, which is flight ICAOs and call sign. This is recently uploaded call signs and identifiers, and we are retrieving this data live from RO gateways and showing here. So anybody can use these examples to query example data.
So the first selection was like the number of the plane, the identifier for the plane, and then you had depth as well. Is that like as far back as you want to go in terms of looking at that plane's history?
Yeah, depth is simple packets. For example, 100 depth is retrieving 100 packet file.
Nice. Okay, and the Parquet files have like a number of data points for the individual plane inside them.
Yeah. For example, we query this call sign. We find 100 packet which includes this call sign, and we get that packet. One packet can have maybe 30 to 40 different flight. We extract this flight information from that packet, and we repeat this process for each packet. And after that, we are able to generate this data.
Very cool.
Also, raw data is available. This is the raw data. So if people want to use the raw data, they can just copy this data or download this data.
This is awesome, man. Very cool. Yeah, it's amazing once you've got stuff data stored and accessible in a decentralized way, like you can, like you were saying before, right? Especially with AI tools, you can kind of build whatever you want on it. So it's like we've got the ability to query the sky, we've got the flight tracking portal, and the thing that's allowing that to happen is because there's just this data that's stored and available for, and like you can do this, but also like someone else could go and do this, right? They could build products on top of the open data that you built.
Yeah, exactly. Derad Network, Derad Network is the first company trying to create fully decentralized infrastructure. In other DP networks, most of the time, antennas are decentralized. For example, devices are decentralized, but they are all sending information to a centralized point. We are trying to disable that centralized point and create end-to-end decentralized application, decentralized network. So in the network, not only antennas are decentralized, full layer, full service is decentralized.
I love
The
it.
network is one of the first companies. Maybe the first company is actually doing this, and it's pretty hard. I can say it's pretty hard because putting a lot of antennas in different locations and connecting to a single server, centralized server, is most easy thing in the world to do. But creating fully end-to-end decentralized layer, it's pretty hard. And
Yeah.
we are creating the foundation stones for this kind of network. So other projects see what we are doing and implement very, very easily because we are open sourcing all of our work. And this is our contribution for the deep in field. So other projects can use our code base to create similar fully decentralized network instead of putting out antennas in different locations, selling out antennas to different people, and they are all connecting to a centralized server and calling them deep in decentralized network. It is bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Your
I
network
love
is
it.
truly decentralized
I love it, mate.
infrastructure.
I love it. Okay, cool. Was there anything else you wanted to show on the screen, or maybe we can wrap things up and talk about what's left and what's left in the kind of the grant process, and also things that folks should be excited about and look out for in DeRad's kind of coming months?
I believe I explained everything we did in milestone 2. Also, I explained everything we are doing overall. In next milestone, in milestone 3, we are working really hard to create some kind of decentralized consensus mechanism for data uploads. Currently, all nodes can upload data on their own. If there are 5 nodes, all of them uploading the same data. But
Right.
we want to create some kind of consensus mechanism, so all this node can create some kind of consensus, one of them uploading the data, other nodes signing that packet, and based on the signatures, we are distributing rewards to these data uploader nodes in decentralized manner. So this is the most difficult challenge we faced since we created this project, a decentralized consensus for deep networks. And this is the most important thing.
And
Also,
is that also something that's normally decentralized or often decentralized in, centralized in deep in networks? This kind of consensus is normally handled in a centralized way, or is it typical that this layer of the problem that you're solving is also decentralized?
in most deep in networks, there are no consensus.
Okay.
Simply a lot of antennas, a lot of devices connecting to a server, and that server is distributing rewards to that antennas from a centralized point. There are some projects which is creating on-chain consensus, but Derad Network is the first project trying to create fully end-to-end consensus for data upload, reward distribution, also packet upload to Arweave, so overall data management. And we currently working on some smart contracts to do this. There are some challenges. For example, if there are many nodes which is pushing data and making consensus based on a smart contract, gas fees going really up. And in high frequency uploads, these gas fees can be problematic. So there are many issues, but we are solving that issues one by one. And each day there are less issue compared to previous day.
Very
So
cool.
this is the most important thing. As I mentioned before, our iOS application is another important milestone for us. We will launch this application probably in 2026 January. Also,
I'm an iOS user, so I'll be watching out for that. I don't have an Android, so I can't test the current application, but I'm looking forward to it making its way to iOS.
Also, I am an iOS user, but most of our user base or committee members using Android. That's why we choose to launch our application on Android first, but it will be available on iOS as well. In January, they will start to sell some data to some companies. Currently, we have some agreements, some talks with some companies. So our premium tier data will be available for some companies as well. There are
Awesome.
a lot of exciting news for the future, and we will announce them one by one in coming
Cool.
weeks.
Very, very cool, man. That was it's a lot for folks to kind of see and what you've managed to build there. It's really, really quite impressive. I love the fact that you've kind of lent into the full decentralization of the stack. I think we have this kind of tension between what can be done in a centralized way and what can be done in a decentralized way, right? And I think people have got used to certain layers of the stack. They have to be decentralized, but they have to be centralized because the solutions don't exist out there to do them in a decentralized way. But it's awesome to see kind of you leaning in to kind of some of the newest solutions that have come to market recently in RAO to enable some of this, basically. And I think it's excellent. I've always dreamt of a world where systems can be built in a truly decentralized way, and your data isn't held hostage by AWS, and you can kind of build whatever you want on it. So I love to see this, man. I'm really, really rooting for you guys. I think you're doing excellent work, and I'm hoping it's going to be, and I'm sure, confident it's going to be an amazing 2026.
Yeah. We have really huge hopes for 2026. My idea is simply, if we do this in decentralized way, let's do this properly. If we can't do this decentralized way, let's create a centralized product. So if we say we are creating decentralized network, they will create really decentralized network. This is my promise. At the end of the 2026, all points of this network will be decentralized, and there will be no single centralized point in our network. And this will be our main advantage and main difference point between our competitors and between the Derad network.
I love it. Brilliant. We'll have to do another catch up at the end of 2026 and kind of like score ourselves on how we've done for being able to decentralize the full stack, man. I'm sure you're going to have a really good crack at it in 2026. So if people want to find out more about Derad or reach out to you guys, where's the best place for them to go?
Best place is our website, derad.net. It's our official website. Second, they can join our Discord server or Telegram channel. It is all available on derad.net. Also, our Twitter page, X page, I still say Twitter.
Me too.
Our X page is a very good source of our updates. We are sharing update each day, and we are sharing multiple updates some days. So these resources are very, very useful for our users. Also, our GitHub page is very useful to learn about our technology stack, because what we create is available on GitHub, and all updates are immediately published on GitHub as well. So these resources are very, very useful for our committee members.
Okay, awesome. And is there like a role in the network that folks can come along and perform at the moment? Like, can people stand up ground stations and participate in the network, or kind of where are you at in terms of folks being able to like directly contribute to the network?
We really need antenna providers in Asia. If somebody has a DSP antenna and sending data for Flight Radar 24, they can join our network. And I promise they will give good rewards. And when our network goes to mainnet, they will profit from these rewards. So we need antenna providers. We need antenna providers. This is I want to say antenna providers only.
Okay, awesome. All right, if you're listening and you've got an antenna, reach out to Nijat. He's an unbelievable guy to work with. It's going to be an exciting 2026. Man, thanks so much for coming. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and see what you guys have been working on. And yeah, I look forward to continuing to work with you next year as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Awesome, dude. See you soon.